the mission in this journey is to make bread in the backpacks area. I have been doing that for a number of times. So I come to one of the nearby supermarket and then look for high-grade flour. So that is the easiest thing you can do to make a very simple bread. Okay. I would suggest people choose the Handmade one if they have the high-grade flour, not the gluten-free one. Definitely don't use anything that's gluten-free. Okay. If you can't find a non-gluten, if you can't find anything that's high-grade for Handmade, the only thing option is using the plant one. I think that's normally what they sell in the supermarket. To be fairly cheap. I remember back in the day that was about $1 per kilogram, but of course inflation now $2.69. So give it a try. I only need about 1,000 grams, which is one kilogram, but they sell it 1.5. So I just take it because there's no other options here. So the next thing is a little bit difficult because I'm not certain if the accommodation have oil or not. So if anyone wants to do the same thing like me, making bread in the accommodations, check out if they have oil. Okay. If not, you have to buy one yourself. And the problem about taking oil is if let's say you are taking with you, you don't want to waste it, then you have to make sure you can carry it into the flight if you are taking plane to the first place. Or otherwise, like me, I choose a very cheap oil. I suggest for health problem, you should use olive oil. Okay? Olive oil is one of the best one, and you should do the extra virgin olive oil for making bread. Okay? Reason for that is you will say, hang on, when you bake it, you will be high. Actually, most of the oil captured inside the bread, it will not create smoke, and this is very, very healthy. So use the extra virgin olive oil if you can. So now I'm not sure the accommodation have oil. I just pick the cheap one, so I just use it 1 or 2 times and throw it away. Sorry, it's a waste, but yeah, canola oil is. I normally won't use that. Olive oil, okay. Another thing you can get is salt. For salt, okay. People ask, do you want to get sea salt, Himalaya salt, and all? For me, I think for bread, it doesn't use a lot of salt. You need salt. Just get anything cheap, it's fine. I would say it won't affect the taste of the bread. So salt is essential. It's $1.29, so I wouldn't care. I'll grab this one. Now, so the last item, also a little bit difficult to get here, is the yeast. Okay. The ideal thing is you got to get an instant yeast with those package, which every time you use it, you just throw away one package, or you seal it up and easily to put into the fridge. But now they only sell those in a big bottle. That means every time you open this, you got to finish it very quickly. Otherwise, when the yeast is no longer active, you have to throw the whole bottle away. Problem here is I only need once. They don't sell the package instant yeast, they sell the bottle one. And it is not instant, it's the active yeast. Later on, I will explain what is the difference between instant and the active. $6.69. Now I better get the other one, and it is not cheap. Definitely, it's not cheap. It doesn't worth you to make bread by paying just the yeast for $5.39 and make one loaf of bread. So I suggest anyone want to go on cheap, make your own bread, bring your packaged instant yeast with you, so you won't fall into this type of situations. Other items is fine, like oil. That one maybe $1-2 you can get one. So make 2 loaves of bread that well, but make 2 loaves of bread with $5.39 instant yeast. You rather buy it outside rather than do it your own. But now I do a demonstration, so I got to get this one. Everything's nice and clean. So what do we have here? We need a weight, scale, small bowl, and a big bowl. So we don't have a large bowl, so I use a pot here. One thing is, I don't want to rely on the towel for hygiene purpose. I'd rather get a kitchen towel, the best if possible. If not, grab some new open toilet paper. Make sure everything is nice and dry. Ingredient: hard flour, salt, yeast, oil, nothing more than that. That's the basic item for doing bread. Let's turn on. And 300 grams of water. It would be ideal to closer to the water tap, but I don't have a very cold water tap. Awesome. 300 grams of water goes in the bowl. Next thing, dry the bowl. Make it super dry. Awesome. And now we can open the flour. I use this, I don't use large spoon, I always use a small teaspoon. The reason for it is you don't want too much flour stick onto your stirring rapidly. Now I can open this. First thing, the bowl of water. You want to get 1/8 of a teaspoon of yeast. Now here, because we use active yeast, you need to wait, okay? If you got instant yeast, you can just put it there and then put flour into it. You don't do that here. And never put salt while you put yeast into it. However, if it's active yeast, not instant yeast, you put it in the water. Slightly warm will be better, but don't get too hot, okay? Put a little bit of flour in it. So you have to beat the instant yeast. Okay? Now the rest, 300 grams of flour go into a dry bowl. Okay. 302, that's our hours, so there's some wastage. Wait for the water before foaming, and then you can put the flour into it. So one of the things that you try to avoid using active yeast, use the instant yeast. You don't have to do this step. Yeah. Of course, the best things to do for health, you don't even need to use the yeast. You use your sourdough, which means you have to put water and flour every single day, normally over 9 days. Put a good portion of water and flour into it until the 9th day you will put something that replaces with the yeast, and it's a lot healthier. And that's how you make sourdough. And plus, I mean, for traveler, you don't want to use too much time to making the sourdough. So the most convenient way is just use instant yeast. Second is the active yeast. When the yeast is dissolved completely in the water, I think it is okay enough that you can add the flour into it. Okay? While you're adding into it, you just gently stir it with a spoon. Until you don't see any dry flour. That will be another thing that people did ask me about how to make the bread, and I forgot to tell them that always leave the dough in a hole. Don't break the dough in any time. Okay. Once every dry and wet dough mix well together, you want to keep the whole dough together. Don't break it. Okay. Any flour stuck in the side of the pot, you just need to strike them. And it is done. So this is pretty much all you have to do for making polish. Okay. Polish is important. Create a day before. If you have the polish beforehand while you are making the dough can bond together easily and then create a better picture. Last thing, close your lid. Keep the moisture inside as much as possible. There's a hole in here, so I just use some tissue to jam up the hole here to make sure the moisture keep inside very well. Okay. It doesn't take long, okay? So these things, keep for the next day. Mostly, the best is about 12 hours, but how do you know it's good? It also depends on the temperature. Normally, the room temperature, they will take about 12 hours overnight. The next day, you should see the dough have bubble forming into there, and when you open it, you smell it. There's a very distinct smell that, if you experience, you can tell that, oh, that polish is ready. And then from that point of time, you can start making your dough, okay? Making bread, very important. Patience, most of the time is waiting. You can see I didn't take too long to making the polish, but the waiting time will be quite long. So the better the bread, the longer you wait. Okay. Thanks very much. Okay, so today, it's the next day, after 13 hours of fermenting, you can see this is the polish Okay, they got holes in there building up, which means it's already enough to start making the dough. But today we got schedule and we have to come back another 3 or 4 hours later. Hopefully it will not turn into bad. I expect the bubble will get bigger, but if you can see, it become very elastic. When you put in one side, it just stretch, it's very elastic. The elasticity is where the critical bit, okay? If you last too long, the elastic gone, then the polish is, any dough or polish, we just need to throw away, okay? But another 3 or 4 hours, hopefully it still hold very well. Another thing you have to learn, apart from looking at the bubbles and the elasticity of the polish, is you have to smell it. So the flour have when it rests for quite a long time, or proof for quite a long time, you should be able to smell the fermenting type of smell. I don't know how to describe, but from experience, you will know what I mean. Okay, now we have the big bubble forming. So this polish is still very stretchy, and the surface is very shiny, rubbery. So it's very good. Next thing, warm water, 420 grams. Then pick up flour. Very excellent. I put a teaspoon. I think people just get whatever they can. I found a tablespoon, but we want a teaspoon of yeast. 3/4 to 1 teaspoon of yeast. Okay, I guess is how much it is. Put it into the water. Making ordinary white bread, you probably need 2 teaspoons. But because we use Polish, the way we do is half of the flour getting overnight. So they actually create a lot of yeast. So you don't need that much. 3/4 to 1 teaspoon. Okay, all done. And now wait for the active yeast to become foamy. Whereas if you have instant yeast, you don't have to do the water separately. I normally just put the warm water right into the polish, and then add instant yeast on top of it immediately. So the yeast, you wait for a couple of minutes. Ideally, if you want the yeast to dissolve in the water completely, you probably need to wait for another 10 or 15 minutes. Unless you do white bread that is a non-European type, I mean, you don't need to wait that long. I would say a couple of minutes. Just a little bit tiny foam on top. I mean, you know it's active. You can just put over to the mixture. Okay. Gently pouring into water. Left, right. Okay. Now, this part is very important. If you see the water and the polish mixed together, they don't dissolve well. But one important thing is you have to scribe all the polish that's stuck into the pan inward. Okay, inward. Make sure it doesn't stick into the bowl. Okay, just gently. Again, rule number 1: keep the polish at a hole. Don't break it in any sort. Don't stir it. Just scratch on the side to inward to make sure everything stays together. Okay, that is a very important. Next step. Use your original bowl doing this mixture. Get a kitchen towel. Dry them out completely, nice and clean. And now we put flour in. Okay. Previously we put 420 grams of water into the pot. Flour we need 600 grams. That's 304 grams. Of course, you want a very fine texture of bread, you probably need a colander to build out the flour. Here, I normally don't do that. I like a rough texture. Okay. Then another 300 grams. Oops, a little bit too much. Okay, 295. That will be all. Now, before you do anything else, okay, salt. Salt. 2 teaspoons of salt. 1. Make sure you spread the salt evenly on the surface. So don't concentrate your salt like a single part of the flour. Actually, I would say 4 teaspoons. Yep. Now, gently mix it with the dry flour. Okay, and then we continue the procedure of folding inward. Folding inward. Okay. Keep folding inward. So we continue this process until you don't see any dry flour. Then that will be done. You don't need to mix it very well. You only need to mix until you don't see any dry flour, and that's it. Okay. That's why I don't like to use a big. Another way, probably is better to use, is using one hand. Make sure one of your hand is clean and only use one or the other hand, so that afterward it's easily to clean up your hand. If you have two hands dirty, it's hard to do. So hold it with one clean hand and then mix it. Hold it in. Hold it in. Spread any flour stick into the side of the bowl. Okay. The side inward. Side inward. Side inward. Continue doing this. Now you see it is almost done. Okay. So now you have a very dirty hand and a very clean one. So what do? Use a knife or a teaspoon to scrape it. If you have pop-up flour scraper, I recommend you use it. But I can't get it, so now I just use a knife just to clean up the fingers. Reasonably clean. Okay. So the remaining you just have to use a tissue, kitchen towel. Yeah. Now the next thing is make the side of your bowl as clean as possible. So scrape anything out. Scrape anything out inward. That we're done. We have to cover it up again and wait for 30 minutes. Okay, so we're wetting the dough. Just to recap, the time we have for the Polish meeting, we did about 16 hours. Normally I don't do that long, but when I check the picture, it's all right. Normally I just do like 10 to 12 hours. Okay. Now after 30 minutes, resting is done. Okay. So the dough become very rubbery. Next thing, get your oil ready. Okay. You don't touch the flour at this time. Nothing. Okay. Just want to put aside. Put it again. Rub it. Rub it on your bench. Okay. On your hand. And then just pull it aside. And you get the dough on the bench. Okay. For the traditional technique of rye bread, you will use flour on the bench, but we don't do that for you. Bread. We use olive oil. Always use oil. Okay. Now, here, just add a little bit in your baking bowl, and then wrap it all around the bowl evenly. The dough here, we pull it on the side, we pull it out, and then fold it. This side, okay, do the same. Okay. Turn it around, stretch a little bit on the side, pull it out, Pull it. Here again. Pull it out. Pull it. All good. Now, put this back to the mold. And we start our first proof of the bread. And it will take 1 hour under the room temperature. So you're going to have experience in knowing how to manage your temperature. In a very cold day, during winter, when it is only 10 degrees room temperature, you need to wait for about 3 hours before the second heating. So this process we have to repeat four times. Because now it's in summertime, the room temperature is about 80, 90 degrees. So I just need to come back every hour to repeat the same step. Okay. Now, that's all that. Second stretch and fold. So like this, it's forming some bubble there. Keep the whole dough as a whole. Okay, this is the second stretch and fold. Swipe, 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 swipe. Pull it side. So even thickness. Rectangular shape. Pull it 1/3 of the way. Pull it forward. Here. Pull it forward. Okay. Turn around. Again. Take a rectangular shape. Make the dough thickness evenly. And then hold 1/3 of the way. Pull it forward. This way. Pull it forward. Okay. Now, put it back. All done. Second time. So what is we do next? 1 more hours. We come back later. Do the third time. Third time. Stretch and fold. Every time you do it, you realize it's getting non-sticky. Not absolutely not sticky, but still sticky, but it's not as thick as previously. So again, emphasize again. Never break the dough. Make it as a whole. Okay. Awesome. One step. Stretch. Here again. Stretch. Fold. If you are not confident about the pots where or a bowl that it's still very sticky, just add a little bit of oil. Just a little bit. And then wipe it again. Okay. That's it. And you can just pick the dough and put it back. So what do we do now? Wait another hour, and then do the last stretch, which is the fourth time. Then we can start from there. So okay, now the last stretch and fold. Okay, this time we didn't wait for 1 hour. We waited about 90 minutes. Okay? So it actually grow a little bit bigger, but it's all right. So what we do is we make sure it doesn't stuck at the edge of the pot or bowl. Again, oil stick. And now you can smell the fermented taste. It's quite strong. You can actually smell that. And that's all. This is the last stretch and fold. Okay. Look at this. It's like a screen. So they call it window as well when you stretch it. It is transparent, and then that will be awesome. Okay, so now we get the pot, put it in. Right. So this, make sure that nice and clean. Any moisture, use your kitchen towel. Absorb it. Okay. Now, what do we do here? We don't use oil. We start using flour. Get a pinch of flour and just sprinkle it to a cap. Another pinch. do it a little bit wider surface area. So because we need plenty of space in this process, okay. Just gently make some pieces of flour here. Okay. Now the paper fabric flour. This one. What do we do is put back in here. And also make a piece of flour, put it on top. Don't use don't do too much. Just enough so that the surface area of the dough not seeing very shiny, that would be fine. We try to chop it. In half. I suppose to use a bigger knife, but I mean, kind of weird. Okay. Remember, try not to break the dough if it's unnecessary. Okay. Now, so nice, separate like nice and tiny and thin with two different portions. Now you may ask if I make two of them, one is smaller than the other one. Is that a problem? Yes. So you have to make both of them almost the same size, not necessarily the same, but the best is if you can make it the same size that will be. This cutting area, try not to touch it with your hand. Instead, it's a little bit more flour. The cutting surface, face it up, okay? Face up. The wider part, stretch it, and you pull it in. The other end, pull it in. And then here, you use 4 fingers, pull it. Just roll it in. And put it like that. Just rest like that. This one, blend it flour with your fingers, grab it, cutting half face up. Longer side, pull it, pull it, pull it. And then the other diagonal side also pull it out, pull it, and then roll it. Okay? Now, you make 2 doughs. This time, we need some rest, about 15 minutes rest. Okay, so we are warming up the oven while resting the dough. During this time, I also washed the liquid. Okay, how do you warm it? 180. And then set the tray in the middle. Okay, middle. And just wait for it. Let's see if that is warm here. I don't feel anything here. Maybe yesterday I used it and it was detecting. So this part, almost the last part of making bread, because shaping. So we make the dough into the bread tray and then put it in the tray. Okay. So one thing, you grab the dough after resting, you put it back, and you spread some flour, pinch some flour on the bench first. Okay. And the bottom face up. Now, consider vertically. You section by 3 portions, and then you use 4 fingers to pick up 1/3 of the dough from the top and pull it in here. Okay? This one again, pull it in. And then gently apply pressure here to make sure they stick. Now, pull it, turn it around, do the same. This one, now you don't fold it in the halfway, you fold it all the way up here. By doing this, you use your thumb. One thing I remind you to make sure you get plenty of flour in your thumb so that it doesn't stick. And then you punch it in, and then your other fingers just to apply the pressure like that. Okay? Now, put it a little bit more flour. Okay? Bring it out, pat it. Any loose flour, we don't want to stick too much. Then roll it, roll it, roll it. This part, the critical part is make sure the both sides, they are quite firm. Okay? The center part is alright, but the other part, you need to be quite firm. Okay? Now, meanwhile, hey, apply some oils into the tray. I wish it doesn't stick because I haven't bought baking paper and foil paper. If it sticks, then that will be a problem. But if I put plenty of oil, I think it works out well. Not only the bottom part of the tray, I think on the side of the tray I also need it because during the baking, the flour, the dough will expand. So I don't want that stuck in the edges. Okay. Lots of oils, make sure it doesn't stick. This one, gently bring it out, 4 fingers, and chuck it into the tray like that. Okay. So always keep the dough gently, okay, with structure, so it don't collapse. Okay. Never try to break the dough at any point. Okay. The only time you break it is to separate it into two breads or four portions or whatever portion you want. That is the only time you want to break it. Always keep the whole thing. Again, what do we do this one? Some flour in here. Put it in. Turn it upside down. Okay. Okay. More flour on the fingers. Okay. 1/3 of the portions. Make a rectangular. Okay. Punch it. Punch it. Punch it. Punch it. Punch it. Turn it around. Okay. Thumb. More flour on the thumb. Thumb. Other fingers don't need so much. This one. Fold all the way. Fold all the way. Fold. Okay. Like that. Like that. Okay. 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 Now we got two loaves of bread. This one, again, put it in the tray. Okay. So if you didn't break the bread, you would expect it hold up very full, so it won't collapse. Unless you put the bread too long time, it will collapse. But we don't want to put that long for hours. So now what do we do here? Okay, you probably just take something to cover it up. Okay. Now the shaping is finished. We just have to cover it up. Rest another at least 10 minutes. Okay. What am I going to do now? I need half glass of water. Okay. Look here. The dough still firm and very full, so it didn't collapse. So it's good. I just remind me that there is no fan bake. Normally fan bake we use 180. But because you don't have it, I return it up. So that is closer to 230. I would say the safe. Now, oven is hot, but actually it's not hot. I would say pretty cool. So before doing this, chop this. And one more step. I need a knife. Something like that will be perfect. Okay. What do you do is cut it vertically. Okay. There's an easy way. There's a couple of ways you can make patterns in the bread. The reason why you have to do it, if you don't do it, the bread when you expand it will crack. So you have to allow the air to come out. So the easiest way to cut it is just vertical. Okay. Of course, there's other ways like going like that and that, but that's harder. So I suggest people just do it like that. Do it quick. Okay. Okay. Normally, if you put enough, there's lecture interfering me, but you should actually do all the way. Okay. Yeah, the cut is a little bit shadow, but it's okay. Okay. Just go for that. Now, one hand bring the food tray, the other hand bring the loaf, put it in. Okay. Now, after you put it in, if you have glass, take it off. Hold the water inside. And then close it. How long do we need to bake? Half an hour at least. Sometimes it go up to 35 minutes. Okay. Yeah. Very fortunate. Someone left a butter in the kitchen when they leave, so I stay with for my bread. So I just chop it nice and thin, so I can share with people. So now the bread is halfway baked, so we have to wait another 15 minutes before bring it out. And the final step, we need to rest. Okay, rest about 30 minutes before we can cut it. It's almost 35. That's really nice. We probably need a little bit round. Turn up here for another minute. 1 minute now. Everyone done. Thank you. Sorry about the inconvenience. Yeah. Okay, it's not very brown because I don't know this dough, but it's okay. I think it's okay. Yeah. So the reason you want to put water, right? You want to steam it at the beginning. So during the cooking time, when you steam outside the bread, you capture the moisture inside the bread. So the bread inside will become very chewy. And that is the final product. However, we don't want to eat it now. We have to rest. Rest for 30 minutes. So we have to find something. No. Ta-da! The most uncertain part is, does it stick? This is actually fine. I can take it out. But the bottom is pretty burned. Oops. Oh, not too bad. When you rest, you want to turn it upside down so that the whole bread can, the surface that touching the bread, you have to be getting to the minimum. If you have some other type of trays that you know, those chicken wire kind of tray, that would be perfect. The touching surface of the bread when you when you cool it down have to be minimum to have the best result for cooling. Why don't we cut it now? Why do we need westing? If you cut it now, the structure inside the bread will be damaged. Okay, so you rather have to wait for it. Okay, just wait for it. I don't know what made this tray to be so hot at the bottom. Okay, maybe in the past I used a fan bake. The fan bake will make the bread overall very distributed more evenly. However, the normal bake, the bread seems to be getting a little bit higher temperature at the bottom than the top. So yeah, but we will see. I mean, after the west, we will know how it looks like. Bring this one out. Yeah, go ahead. Awesome. So wait for 30 minutes. So after the rest, what we do is just to cut the bread vertically first. Okay. Always better to cut it like that, so I don't damage the plate. Just look at that. Some of the area is not doing too well, you see here. Didn't mix the flour too good. This area looks pretty okay. If you ask me to redo it, I will turn another 20 degrees higher because the bread seems to be a little bit under temperature. Regarding to the time, to do with the crust thickness, okay? Crust softness and hardness is to do with the temperature, but the thickness is to do with the time. The time looks okay, so the thickness of the crust is quite good. So 35 minutes is about it is. Let me just finish off another part. Okay. Able to smell it. This one looks a lot better, you can see. Okay. The hole is decent size, so I would say this one is doing a lot better than this one, to be honest. Now, what we do now is to cut it into pieces. We probably need another tray. Okay. Just take out the stove fragment. You can just cut it into pieces. Just some. Doesn't matter to be reasonably thick. Okay, I like to do in a cube shape. Actually have a better texture. If the bread is too thin, it lost the texture. That is just my own flavor. And some people may like a thinner bread, but I like a thicker slice. So yeah, and just cut it like this.